Hey, and welcome to today's Clutter Corner. I'm super excited to have you guys join me today. I'm Angela Brown from the Clutter Corner, and today I have a special guest with me, Kathy McEwen. And she is a certified professional organizer, and she's the previous owner of a multi six-figure home organizing company. Please help me welcome Kathy McEwen. So, Kathy, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. I think one of the biggest challenge for most people is having a hard time letting go. Like that is definitely whenever they have any kind of sentimental items or gifts or what if I need it one day and if it costs them money and they think they're throwing the money out. So really I'm helping them understand the process of letting go and that it is still okay to let go of gifts just because it was a gift and so that is probably one of the biggest challenges for them. The second challenge is sometimes they don't know where to bring things. They don't know what to do with them once they've decluttered and they've got it. Like, can I bring this to a thrift store or can I bring it to a donation center? And other challenges are they don't know how to organize it. Unfortunately, they might clear a space, but then they still have some items which they want to keep, which is great, but they still aren't sure on how to best organize it. And organizing is definitely key to maintaining it as well as if you have a system in place that works well for you, then you're more likely to be able to maintain that organization. So they don't often know how to create a system that works, I find.
Speaking of system that works, and I want to go back to something that Kathy said a minute ago about what happens if you have gifts that you want to honor the person, like you don't want to refuse their gift and you don't necessarily want it. You can get as creative as you want to go. In my company, we have a Monday morning meeting, and one of our funnest moments, the highlight of my week, we have what we call Lousy Prize Monday. And somebody brings a lousy gift that they got that they don't want, and they bring it and they pick a number from 1 to 500, and then everybody in the room picks a number, and then whoever ends up with the closest number wins the lousy prize. And there, get rid of it. It removes that person from having to make that tough decision. We've been doing this now for about 6 months. But what's really weird is people are going through their houses and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a great lousy prize. And so
Oh,
they have this little shelf now of lousy prizes, that valuable things that they don't want to get rid of, but they know that it's going for this really fun game and someone else will either use it or they'll get rid of it. And so
very
you
cool.
don't always have to be the one to get rid of it. We started implementing the lousy prize in all of our meetings. So every meeting, people are like, hey, I'm going to win a lousy prize, or I get to get rid of a lousy prize. It's just another opportunity for like, how can you get rid of this in a loving, kind way, right? Especially if you spent money for it or if it was
What's
a gift.
And what's really interesting, what you're telling me is that they may not have thought of those things as being a lousy prize. They just have it in their home looking at it day after day. But then now they know that they're going to bring a lousy prize. It makes them think more about what they have in
Mhm.
their home, right? That they may not have thought of before. So that's really cool.
Well, my husband brought me this whole basket of stuff and he goes, hey, I found a whole bunch of lousy prizes that I will never use. And this is not my style or it's not right for me, but you could give these away. And it was all brand new stuff that were like these trinkets that vendors had brought in. And I was like,
Cool.
oh, that's awesome. There's just weird little odds and ends that make lousy prizes. So I do encourage you to have parties like this. And last year for Christmas, my whole entire team got together and we were all thinking, what are we going to get each other for Christmas? And are we doing gifts? Like, what are we doing? So we did a white elephant and everybody decluttered their homes and they got the stuff that was good. And we wrapped it up in really nice paper, wrap it up, make it look nice because we're going to fight for those gifts before we open them. Oh my goodness, you won't believe people brought like 10, 20 gifts and we're like, "Oh, this is awesome." Everybody was like trying to get rid of it. Like there were certain items that nobody wanted. And then there were
Right.
certain items that people were like, "Actually, I could really use that. I needed one of those." Some people ended up with stuff they could use, and some people just was like, "This is awesome." And then in the end, we had a great big box at the front door, and anything that you were okay to let go to the Goodwill or the Salvation Army, you put it in the box on the way out the door and you don't even take it home with you. So we had a lot of gifts that ended up after people fought for them or whatever, just weird odds and ends that they put in that box. And then immediately the following day, it was discarded of. So that was a really fun way to get rid
Yeah,
of our.
that is fun, and I've done that as well, but I called it a swap party. We would bring something that we don't want anymore, and I think we even narrowed it down to jewelry one time, but we sometimes it just could be random items, but everybody brings something they don't want anymore, and then they lay it out, and then other people might really want it, so they'll take it. My only thing is that I would say to people, those are fun. Swap parties are fun because you're bringing stuff to get rid of, but you don't want to bring everything back home with you because the whole
Right.
idea is that you want to let things go. So I'd always say it's great if you can bring 10 items and you only bring one or two back home. So you don't want to double what you got rid of. But it was a great way because it was like shopping in somebody's living room, but you're bringing items that you don't want anymore and letting other people have them. And then whatever was left over, we donated.
Well, in our Hoarding World group, which is our Facebook support group for people that want to upload pictures or they want to say, hey, I'm working on this particular project and they need some kudos and attaboys and you got this kind of a thing. We have Saturday donations. And so every Saturday, we encourage people to whatever you're decluttering for the week, take the boxes or the bags and drop them off at the donation center.
Yeah.
Take a picture of the item and use the hashtag I was here and post it in that group.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
one of
idea.
the cool things about that is we've made rules about that. You can drop it off at the thrift store, but do not go inside. Do not bring
Mhm.
back a replacement for that empty space
Yeah.
and live with the empty space for 30 days until that becomes your new norm. There's always an inclination like, there's an empty space. How do I fill that up? Don't fill
You
it
don't
up.
have to.
Yeah,
No.
just enjoy the empty space for a few weeks
Yeah.
and let that become the new norm. And you'll find yourself not necessarily refilling that space, but saying, look, I have an empty space. How great does that feel? And you get to feel something different for a change.
Very true. And you know what? The thrift store that we have here, go to the back, you drop off your donations, right? But they automatically hand you a 15% off if you go in and shop. I have to explain like you don't necessarily have to take that 15% off if you don't need anything, right? So, but
Right.
that's the thing. They get you to come in and shop. So you got to watch things like that.
I think that rule also applies to clearance racks. It's easy to go into a store like Walmart where everything is inexpensive, but then you walk in and you see all these clearance racks and things are on sale and things are marked down. And you're like, oh, look, a savings. And so
Yeah.
you just go over there just out of curiosity. We just want to see what there is. But the
Mhm.
rule is, do you need anything specifically right now? And if you walked into the store, you probably do. So go get the stuff you probably need that you came in the store for. Do not go to the clearance racks.
Don't go to the
If you did
clearance.
not need it when you came in, do not go look at the clearance racks. I have a no clearance rack rule. I do not allow myself to go to the clearance racks because I did not come in the store to find whatever's on sale. I came in the store for a very specific number of things. I'm going to get those things and I'm going to get right out of the store. And right now, with online shopping, not to overspend, I jump online and I type in the words. I'm looking for this specific thing. Then I
Yep.
put it in my cart and I get out. I don't want to go browsing through all the stores and going and looking at all the stuff online. I don't want to watch the videos of how they work. I don't want to do any of that stuff. Buy the thing, have it delivered, and I'm done. That way I don't even have to go into the store.
Exactly. Yeah,
Because
because you
those
could end up in a tunnel, like just a vicious cycle of going through stuff. And before you know it, you've been searching for the last hour on Amazon or something, right? Otherwise, you're compulsive buyers, right? You don't want to be
right.
compulsive. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you guys go over and visit Kathy at her website. And Kathy, thank you so much for your time and attention today. This was so helpful.
Oh, thank you. It's been fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you.